Hey, so yesterday, President Trump threatened to pull the security clearances of a number of former intelligence officials, and the media in Washington, D.C. audibly gasped. Today, the Trump White House said that President Trump has, in fact, begun this process of getting rid of some of the security clearances of certain former intelligence officials. Let's discuss that with a pro, with an expert, Colonel Rob Maness, U.S. Army retired. Colonel Maness, as always, my friend, I love to talk to you. Thanks so much. I want to figure out what this issue means. So first, let me ask you this question. Why, and I think a lot of folks don't understand that we've done this as a rule, why do former intelligence heads and other officials keep their security clearance after they've left?
Well, like the head of the CIA, Mr. Brennan, or Susan Rice, or oftentimes the White House or the seniors and the new senior people in the departments want to talk at a classified level with those folks. And it's very difficult to get clearance for all the special access programs, the compartmented information and those kind of things. So it's always been easier on everybody involved to let those folks keep their clearance. And I think it's in perpetuity for some of these positions, not all of them, but some of them.
Is it, and in your estimation, Rob, is it a valuable thing to do, generally?
To keep the clearances? No, I don't think so, because in this case, the president has the power to look somebody in the eye if their people need to talk to one of these former members, like Ms. Rice or somebody like that, and say, okay, you're cleared to have this discussion, and he can sign a memo for record stating that, because he's the ultimate classification authority and approval of security clearances in the United States.
So, Colonel Maness, so what's your take when you heard this yesterday, that the president was threatening to do this, pull the security clearances of, John Brennan, Comey, Clapper, Hayden, all the rest? What was your first thought?
Well, initially, until you go back and you hear the words, you go, oh my gosh, the man's going to make a political move on these folks. But there's a couple things that are going on here. That's not what Press Secretary Sanders said. She actually read from a document which tells me it was cleared by the legal folks and probably everybody else on the White House staff, up to and including the president, so that the words that she spoke wouldn't be illegal or unethical. Now, having said that, I think it'd be a tough political move for him to do it. I think Paul Ryan said it today best, that he's the ultimate troll on the security clearance issues. But here's where my concerns are, though, Joe. I started getting concerned about former CIA Director Brennan some time ago, but recently he has really gone over the top. I mean, Senator Rand Paul, I've known him for several years now in his political life, and we've met one-on-one several times and stay in communication. And for Rand Paul to get on television and say, look, this guy is the most bigoted, hyperbolic, unhinged, extreme individual that we have, that should tell you right there that something's not quite right. Now, there's two schools of thought on this. I know I'm on one side. I think the intelligence leadership under the Obama administration has done some grave damage to the United States with all this FISA application stuff and those kind of things. But we're going to have to wait and see what the investigations come out with to find out what the actual facts were on that. However, when somebody's speaking like he is, it's so out of character for a CIA director. It's completely out of character for somebody like that at that level to do that. Anytime anyone is speaking out of character and how they would normally speak professionally in an open forum like the public media, you have to wonder, should he have a security clearance? That's the question from a professional perspective that I've been asking for quite some time. Now, I'm not as familiar with the CIA as I am the National Security Advisor. I'm not sure if they get called into briefs and actually get any daily intel data, or it's only upon their request or the organization's request. But I can tell you this, he's acting very, very unprofessionally, and his words lead me to believe that something's not quite right there, and he needs to be taken a look at to make sure that it's still okay for him to have access to the highest levels of intelligence of the United States, and in some cases of our allies too. So we have to take great care with that. On the political side, I think the president's going to have a tough time if he actually does it for those reasons. But I would like to see just a complete look. When you leave your position in the government, your security clearance is terminated. And it's terminated, not in a negative way, but just administratively terminated. And then if you have to get it back for a contract job or those kind of things, just like I will have to, if I were to go get hired by a contractor, I'd have to go apply for a new security clearance, even though I had a top secret security clearance up until a few years ago.
Right. Well, and Rob, you're right. John Brennan is actually the interesting case here because he's really gone off the reservation. I mean, it's clear he's on TV almost every day, and he's attacking this president. He despises this president. You're right. It's almost like a guy like that shouldn't have his clearance, should he?
That's right. And when you start thinking about all of the different investigations that have gone on, both on the congressional side and now with the special counsel, and you look back at the intelligence assessment, I think we talked about it the other day, that was put out initially saying the Russians were meddling. And I mentioned that I've never seen an intelligence assessment that didn't put one piece of evidence that's been declassified out there to go with at least one of the 12 assessments in that document. Well, John Brennan was the driving factor behind that document, the way I understand this, as the story's been told. So when you look at all of those things, it just makes you wonder what is going on with this gentleman, and why is he? I mean, he's almost, well, unhinged is probably the correct way to say it. He's unhinged, and for him to have access to our nation's greatest secrets is probably not a good idea at this point.
Hey, Rob, quick one for a quick answer. Generally, this president's posture with the intelligence community, what's your feeling about it?
Adversarial, and I think it started before the inauguration, actually. Several months before the inauguration. It's been adversarial the whole time. And I don't think it's with the rank and file. As a matter of fact, I know it's not with the rank and file. It's with the political appointed leaders, and I'm not sure he even trusts the guys and gals that he has appointed in any large measure yet until they prove it to him. And that's tough.
Colonel Rob,
for everybody.
Hey, Colonel Manis, I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much, as always, for your time, sir.
Thank you.
Trump's giving aid to farmers who are hurt by his tariffs. Let's try to figure that one out next.